In this video, I'm going to cover equilibrium in aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Now that we've covered aggregate demand and aggregate supply separately, we're going to put the two concepts together. To show the economy at full employment, we're going to draw the long-run aggregate supply line completely vertical at the point where AS intersects AD. So this represents full employment, or the natural rate of unemployment, around 4% or so. Output gaps. What are output gaps? The economy can be in one of three different places. There can be a negative output gap here, shown on the production possibility curve, where resources are not being used efficiently. We can be at full employment, where resources are being used efficiently. Or we could have what we call a positive output gap out here, where the economy is accelerating quite fast. On the business cycle, those 3 points would be shown here. Full employment is, again, 5% unemployment. What would happen if the government increases spending? If the government increases spending, you know that aggregate demand would shift to the right. That would cause real GDP or output to grow and also the price level to grow. This represents what we call a positive output gap. The economy is no longer operating at long-run equilibrium. So this would represent an inflationary environment as well. With a positive output gap, you have output being high and unemployment is lower than the normal rate of unemployment. So this red point here demonstrates the high output and also the low unemployment. Unemployment's lower than the natural rate. So actual GDP is above what we would consider to be the long run or the potential GDP. What would happen if consumer spending falls? Then AD would move from here to here. You would have both the price level and quantity or real GDP would decrease in this example. So at this point, the economy would be in a recessionary or negative output gap. Actual GDP is below the potential GDP.